Ladies, have you felt like you had to choose between being feminine and strong, as if being feminine or stepping into your feminine energy made you weak? Well, let's make sure that we set the record straight, shall we? Stepping into your femininity, into your feminine energy is a superpower. And in today's video, I'm going to share just some of my journey and how I stay feminine in this masculine world without losing my edge. Hi ladies, my beauties, and welcome to my channel. My name is Angelia, and this is Lady Game Conversations, where we embrace being feminine, being soft, being elegant, being strong and successful, while also preparing for love, marriage, and motherhood. So, if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe because we have so much more to talk about. So, here are 3 tips that I've actually used on my journey into leaning into my feminine energy without losing my edge, staying strong, staying sassy. So, number 1 tip, it's a mindset, ladies, okay? What you have to do at first is lean into the feminine energy with the mindset of your feminine energy not being a weakness, okay? That's the first step, because you have to feel confident. You have to feel comfortable in this energy. You have to feel good in the skin that you're in. If you are a woman, embrace being a woman and love it, okay? Because it is a superpower to be soft, but also it allows you to be strong in so many other ways, especially when you become a wife and especially when you become a mother. Tip 2, very, very important, ladies. And I know you've probably heard this from your mother. I'm a mother, and I tell my daughter, both my daughters, this. Your appearance. You don't have to be elegant every day and step into a ball gown and feel fancy every day. But listen, you do want to feel feminine as much as you can. I can't tell you how many times I've seen women, and I myself have been the woman, to walk outside in mismatched outfits, mismatched socks, just looking a complete mess, okay? And not having the best day at all. And I remember being a single woman and just saying, you know what, I don't even care anymore. But I had this one friend who used to tell me, be careful. You better look your best every day because you never know who you're going to meet. That day you go to Sprouts or that day you go to Whole Foods looking homeless could be the day you missed out on your husband or your boyfriend or your fiance or whoever you wanted to meet. You missed out because you look crazy, okay? You look crazy. Maybe you don't wear makeup, fine, but you look homeless. So you're not going to attract that man because you're looking crazy. And think about it this way, ladies. Would you want to attract some homely looking man? Is that the person that you want to attract? Okay? Because we need to match that type of energy. Like if you want the best version of a man in your life, you have to be the best version of yourself. You have to look the part, period. Because this is a game, period. And you have to play, but you got to know the rules. Tip 3, and this is going to ruffle some feathers. I already know it, but it's important, very important. Being in a relationship with a man, a grown man, means that you're going to have to allow that man to lead. I know. Feminists, don't attack, but it's the truth, okay? I want to share a story with you. When I was growing up, right, I did not grow up in a family where I had the best values shown to me. My father was very, very strong. He is a Vietnam vet, military man, very strong, extremely successful. But I did not see a loving home. I did not grow up in a loving home. My mother did the very best she could, but she just wasn't the best example as far as understanding stepping into that feminine energy. It was not shown at all. And additionally, in the end of their relationship, when my father left our family, he broke our family, and he left us and left my mother just a complete disaster, a complete mess. And because I saw that at such a fragile age of 14, I just knew that I never wanted to be that type of woman who is crying and sad. And I wanted to be the man. I wanted to be, well, or step into that masculine energy where I didn't want to get left. I didn't want to be the one in a puddle of tears. I wanted to be the one leaving. I wanted to be the strong one. I wanted to be the one playing in the streets and doing all the masculine, immature things. Let me be clear, because a grown man who wants to sustain an actual family is not out here playing in the streets. They're not for the streets, okay? And I wanted somebody special in my life, but like I said, I didn't grow up in that type of environment. So let's fast forward to me becoming an adult. You know, I did great stepping into that masculine energy, for work in corporate, rose to great heights, did very well in school. I have 2 degrees. I really busted my hump, and I stepped into my masculine energy a lot. In fact, so much so that in most of my relationships, I was the person who came on to the guy. I was the aggressor. I was the person who was the sassy and the mouth and the snapping and all that. And I still snap. Don't get me wrong. That snap is not going away. But I couldn't keep a man to save my life at all, because I kept attracting a feminine man, a man who wanted to have me open his door, have me pull out my wallet. He wants to be taken care of. And what I've learned, ladies, from my oldest, she's talked to me quite frequently about this sassy pants, sassy apocalypse. I'm not here for that. I am not here for the sassy pants apocalypse. But ladies, what we do need to remember is the reason for the sassy pants apocalypse is that the feminine energies and the masculine energies are all over the place. Men want to be taken care of and the women want to run the ship. You have to pick a side, right? Because there has to be a balance. But for it to work and for it to balance out, you have to pick a side. At some point, you have to choose what you truly want in life. And you can't be swayed by some crazed feminist who's just so opposed to that. Nothing against you feminists at all, but that's not me. I want my husband and the future husbands of my daughters to be taken care of. I want them to have the option to work. I don't want them to feel the need to have to work a 9 to 5 or start a business. If they want to, that's fine. But I don't want them to feel like they're required, that like that's an obligation. Like their 50% is required as far as it coming in monetarily. I want them to feel confident, comfortable in their feminine energy. I want them to embrace it. And I also want that for my fellow ladies, my beauties out there. I want you ladies to understand and know that if you allow that man to lead and you step into your feminine and you allow him to step into his masculine, your life will be transformed. I promise you that. But remember, you have to find the right man, but you have to be the right woman for that right man. So I'll leave you with this. If you want a grown man, a committed man, a loving man, a stable man, maybe a Christian man, maybe a non-religious man, that really doesn't matter. For me, I'm Christian, so of course I gravitated towards more of a Christian, spiritual, religious type of man. But what I've learned on my journey, ladies, is that you have to step into that feminine energy. So let's regroup. 1, it's not a weakness. Your feminine energy is not a weakness. 2, look the part, ladies. Feel good in your skin. Wear makeup. Don't wear makeup. Nails done. Don't get your nails done. Whatever the case, don't look a mess when you walk outside the door, okay? Don't look homeless, okay? These people out here are homeless and they would kill to live your life. Put on some clothes. Look good. Feel good. 3, let the man lead. Allow him to lead. Allow him to open your door, ladies. Allow him to take care of you. Allow him to take out his American Express, his Visa, his MasterCard, or his Discover. Let him do it. Let him, especially if he's willing. If this is what you're seeking, do it. Now, I want to know what you think about it. Let me know how you feel about the tips that I've just given you. I'd love to hear your thoughts. First of all, has it worked for you? Has stepping into your feminine energy worked? Has it not? Let me know in the comments. Like and subscribe. We have so much more to talk about. But until then, have a wonderful, wonderful day, beauties. Talk soon. Ciao.